Just a few years ago, Chinese cars were easy to ignore, cheap, unknown, and far from desirable. But now, everything has changed. These machines are not just copying the future, they are building it faster, cheaper, and sometimes even smarter than the brands the world used to worship. From luxury electric SUVs to silent hypercars with shocking technology, China is no longer chasing the auto industry, it is frightening it. Watch until the end, because the #1 car may completely change how you see Chinese cars forever. Number 10. The BYD Seal. This is the car that made many people stop laughing at Chinese electric sedans. Because at first glance, the Seal does not feel like a cheap alternative. It feels like a serious warning shot aimed directly at the Tesla Model 3. The design is low, smooth, and athletic, with a coupe-like roofline, sharp LED lighting, flush door handles, and a stance that looks more European than people expect. It does not scream for attention. It glides into the frame with confidence, like it already knows the industry is watching. Underneath, the real story is BYD's Blade battery, a lithium iron phosphate battery pack, known for durability, safety, and cost efficiency. Depending on market and trim, the Seal can deliver around 313 miles of estimated range on the WLTP cycle, while the dual-motor all-wheel drive version can produce roughly 523 horsepower and sprint from 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 3.8 seconds. That is not economy car behavior. That is performance sedan territory. Inside, the cabin feels far more premium than its price suggests. You get a rotating center touchscreen, digital driver display, sculpted seats, soft-touch materials, and a clean cockpit that tries to blend technology with comfort. It may not have the badge prestige of BMW or Mercedes, but it has something more dangerous for the old luxury world: value. In many markets, the BYD Seal starts around the mid-$40,000 range, depending on taxes and region. That means buyers are looking at Tesla Model 3 performance, near-premium styling, strong range, and advanced battery tech, without paying luxury car money. And this is why the Seal is shocking. It proves Chinese cars are no longer just competing on price. They are competing on design, speed, technology, safety, and emotional appeal. For a young professional, a tech lover, or a driver who wants something different from the usual Tesla crowd, the Seal feels like the first crack in the wall. Because once a car like this becomes normal, the entire global sedan market has a serious problem. And for legacy automakers, the frightening part is simple. BYD is not slowing down. It is scaling faster, learning faster, and bringing pressure to every showroom on Earth. Number 9. The XP NG9. This is not just another electric SUV from China. This is the kind of vehicle that makes traditional luxury brands uncomfortable. Because the XPeng G9 does not try to win with a famous badge. It tries to win with technology, speed, comfort, and a price that makes European rivals look painfully expensive. From the outside, the G9 has a clean, futuristic presence. The front end is smooth and minimalist, with a thin LED light bar stretching across the nose, hidden details, aerodynamic lines, and a calm, premium shape that feels closer to a tech product than an old-school SUV. It does not look aggressive like a Lamborghini Urus, but it looks intelligent, silent, and expensive in a very modern way. Under the body, XPeng offers serious electric performance. Depending on the version, the G9 can produce up to around 543 horsepower with dual motors and all-wheel drive, allowing it to sprint from 0 to 62 miles per hour in roughly 3.9 seconds. For a large luxury electric SUV, that is shockingly quick. Range can reach around 350 miles on the WLTP cycle in certain long-range versions, and the fast-charging technology is one of its biggest weapons. In the right conditions, XPeng claims extremely rapid charging, giving drivers a large amount of range in just minutes. Inside, the G9 feels like a private digital lounge. You get a wide central display, a passenger entertainment screen, a digital driver cluster, voice control, premium seats, soft materials, and available high-end audio. The cabin is quiet, relaxed, and built around the idea that a luxury SUV should feel less like transportation and more like a calm escape from the world. The estimated price can start around the $50,000 to $60,000 range, depending on market and trim. And that is exactly why this SUV is dangerous, because it offers the size, silence, technology, and acceleration of much more expensive electric SUVs from Germany. Hit like if you believe the law of attraction can bring a car like this into your life sooner than expected. Because the XPeng G9 is not just a Chinese SUV, it is a signal. The future of luxury may not come from where the world expected, and the next car proves that even more clearly. Number 8. The Zeekr 001. This is where Chinese electric cars stop feeling like experiments and start feeling like machines built to embarrass Europe on its own stage. The Zeekr 001 is not a normal sedan. It is not a normal wagon. It is a sleek electric shooting brake with the attitude of a Porsche Panamera, the practicality of a luxury Grand Tourer, and the silent violence of a high-performance EV. From the outside, the 001 looks wide, low, and expensive. The front end carries sharp LED lighting, a muscular hood, and a road-hugging stance that gives it serious presence. Along the side, the long roofline flows smoothly toward the rear, making the car look fast even when it is parked. It has that rare shape that feels both elegant and aggressive, like something designed for people who want performance without looking predictable. But the shock comes from what it can do. Depending on the version, the Zeekr 001 can deliver up to around 536 horsepower in dual-motor all-wheel drive form, with 0 to 62 miles per hour taking about 3.8 seconds. Some newer high-performance versions push even further, with extreme power figures and acceleration that move this car into super sedan territory. Range can reach well over 300 miles on the CLTC cycle, depending on battery size and configuration, giving it real long-distance credibility. Inside, the cabin is clean, modern, and premium. There is a large central touchscreen, a digital driver display, strong audio options, soft materials, and spacious seating that makes it feel more like a luxury express than a regular EV. The rear seats matter here too, because this is not just a driver's car. It is the kind of vehicle that can carry executives, families, and weekend luggage while still launching like something far more exotic. Estimated pricing in China can begin around the $40,000 to $50,000 range, while higher trims climb above that, depending on battery and performance. That price is what makes the Zeekr 001 so dangerous. It gives buyers a taste of Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo energy without Porsche money. And that is why the industry is watching. Because when a Chinese brand can build something this stylish, this quick, this practical, and this premium, The old rules no longer feel safe. Number 7. The Neo ET7. This is not the loudest Chinese car on the list, but it may be one of the most quietly dangerous. Because the Neo ET7 does not try to shock you with wild styling or aggressive drama. It shocks you with refinement, intelligence, and the feeling that China is no longer just building electric cars. China is building luxury flagships. From the outside, the ET7 looks smooth, elegant, and futuristic. The body is long and graceful, with clean surfaces, slim LED lighting, flush door handles, and a calm executive presence. It does not chase the brutal look of a supercar. Instead, it feels closer to a Mercedes EQS rival with a sharper tech identity. A car designed for airport arrivals, private business meetings, and silent nighttime drives through the city. Performance is serious. The dual-motor all-wheel drive setup produces around 644 horsepower and roughly 627 pound-feet of torque. That gives the ET7 the ability to accelerate from 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 3.8 seconds. And for a large luxury sedan, that number feels almost unreal. One moment, it is a quiet executive lounge. The next, it launches forward with the force of a performance machine. Range depends heavily on the battery pack and market. But with larger battery options, the ET7 can claim long-distance figures that make it competitive with premium electric sedans. But Neo's most unusual weapon is not just range, it is battery swapping. Instead of waiting at a charger, owners in supported areas can swap a depleted battery for a fresh one in just minutes. That idea alone challenges the way the entire EV industry thinks about convenience. Inside, the ET7 feels calm and expensive. The cabin uses soft materials, clean displays, ambient lighting, premium seating, and a minimalist dashboard. There is also Neo's digital assistant concept, giving the car a personality that feels more like a smart companion than a traditional vehicle. Estimated pricing can sit around the $70,000 range and higher, depending on trim and battery service options. That puts it near serious luxury territory. But the technology makes it feel different from the old German formula. The ET7 is shocking because it proves China can build prestige without copying anyone directly. It is elegant, fast, intelligent, and deeply ambitious. And once a car like this enters the conversation, Mercedes, BMW, and Audi can no longer pretend the threat is coming someday. It is already here. Number 6. The Li Auto L9. This is the Chinese luxury SUV that understands something very important. Not every wealthy family wants a loud, brutal performance machine. Some people want silence, comfort, technology, and the feeling of traveling in a private first-class cabin with their family. The Li Auto L9 is built exactly for that world. From the outside, it looks clean, large, and confident. The front design is smooth and futuristic, with a thin LED light bar stretching across the face, a strong SUV body, flush door handles, and a calm road presence that feels modern rather than aggressive. It does not try to look like a Range Rover copy. It tries to create its own image of Chinese family luxury. Under the skin, the L9 uses an extended-range electric setup. That means the wheels are driven by electric motors, while a gasoline engine works as a generator to help charge the battery when needed. This gives owners the smooth, instant feel of an EV, but with the long-distance confidence many families still want. The dual-motor all-wheel drive system produces around 443 horsepower and roughly 457 pound-feet of torque, allowing this large SUV to move from 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 5.3 seconds. But the real magic is inside. The cabin feels like a rolling luxury living room. There are 6 seats, soft leather-style materials, large screens, premium audio, second-row comfort, family-focused technology, and a layout designed to make every passenger feel important. For parents, children, executives, or long-distance travelers, the L9 feels less like transportation and more like a private lounge on wheels. Estimated pricing in China is usually around the $60,000 range, depending on version and exchange rate. And that is what makes it shocking, because it gives buyers the size, comfort, tech, and premium family experience of SUVs that can cost far more from Europe or America. Comment number 1. If you can imagine your family stepping into a luxury SUV like this. Because the Li Auto L9 proves that the future of family cars may not be boring at all. It may be silent, intelligent, and shockingly luxurious. Number 5. The AITO M9. This is the moment when the Chinese auto industry starts to feel less like an automaker and more like a technology empire entering the luxury SUV world. Because the AITO M9 is not just a large premium vehicle, it is a rolling smart device, a luxury lounge, and a statement that software may now be just as important as horsepower. Built with deep technology influence from Huawei, the M9 feels designed for a buyer who wants the comfort of a Mercedes GLS, the calm power of an electric SUV, and the digital intelligence of a flagship smartphone. From the outside, it has a clean, imposing shape with a wide stance, smooth body surfaces, elegant LED lighting, and a futuristic face that looks more high-tech than traditional. It does not need a giant grille to feel expensive. Its luxury comes from precision, silence, and confidence. Depending on the version, the AITO M9 is offered as a fully electric model or an extended range electric model. Power figures vary by configuration, but high-output versions can deliver strong dual-motor all-wheel drive performance with acceleration from 0 to 62 miles per hour in around the mid-4-second range. For a large luxury SUV built around comfort, that is more than enough to make passengers feel the instant force of electric torque. But the M9 is really shocking because of the cabin. Step inside, and it feels like a private technology theater. Large digital screens stretch across the dashboard. Rear passengers can enjoy executive seating, premium materials, advanced sound, ambient lighting, and a quiet atmosphere that feels closer to a business-class suite than a regular SUV. The system integration, voice control, driver assistance, and connected features give the car a personality that many old luxury SUVs still struggle to match. Estimated pricing in China can reach roughly $70,000 to $90,000, depending on trim and configuration. That places it in serious premium territory. But compared with European luxury SUVs loaded with options, it can still feel like a shocking value. The AITO M9 matters because it shows what happens when a tech giant's mindset enters the car business. Luxury is no longer just leather, wood, and chrome. Luxury is software, intelligence, screens that actually feel useful, and a cabin that understands the people inside. And for the global auto industry, that is a terrifying evolution. It feels like the next battlefield now. Number 4. The Xiaomi SU7. This is the car that made the entire industry ask one uncomfortable question. What happens when one of the world's biggest technology companies decides to build a performance EV? The answer is the SU7, a sleek electric sedan from Xiaomi, the same company millions of people know from smartphones, smart devices, and connected technology. And that is why this car feels different. It does not arrive like a traditional automaker's first attempt. It arrives like a tech product designed to attack Tesla, Porsche, and every premium electric sedan in the middle. From the outside, the SU7 is low, wide, and surprisingly beautiful. The long hood, flowing roofline, slim headlights, sculpted body, and athletic rear give it the feeling of a Porsche Taycan mixed with a modern Chinese tech flagship. It looks expensive, but also approachable. Sporty, but not ridiculous. Clean, but emotional enough to make people stare. Performance is where the shock becomes real. Depending on the version, the SU7 can offer rear-wheel drive or dual-motor all-wheel drive. The high-performance SU7 Max produces around 664 horsepower and can accelerate from 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 2.8 seconds. That is supercar-level acceleration in a four-door electric sedan. Range can also be impressive, with some versions claiming over 400 miles on the CLTC cycle, depending on battery and configuration. Inside, the cabin feels like Xiaomi's ecosystem on wheels. There is a large central screen, a digital driver display, clean controls, premium seats, smart connectivity, and a cockpit built for people who already live through devices. For younger buyers, tech lovers, and people tired of old luxury rules, this feels natural. Estimated pricing in China can start around the low $30,000 range, with higher performance versions climbing significantly higher. And that price is the nightmare for competitors, because the SU7 offers style, speed, range, and brand recognition from the tech world for far less than many luxury EV rivals. The Xiaomi SU7 is shocking because it proves the future of cars may not belong only to car companies anymore. It may belong to technology companies that learn cars faster than automakers learn software and sell the dream with frightening speed. Number 3. The BYD Yangwang U8. This is the Chinese SUV that does not ask for permission to enter the luxury world. It kicks the door open with 4 electric motors, wild technology, and the kind of presence that makes people stop and stare. The Yangwang U8 is not trying to be a normal premium SUV. It is trying to be a rolling demonstration of power. From the outside, it looks massive, upright, and almost military in its confidence. The front end is bold, the lighting signature is dramatic, the body is tall and muscular, and the entire shape feels like a futuristic rival to the Mercedes G-Class, Range Rover, and every luxury off-roader that once felt untouchable. But the shock is not just the design. Underneath, the U8 uses an extended-range electric powertrain with 4 independent electric motors. Together, they can produce over 1,100 horsepower, giving this huge SUV performance that feels almost impossible for its size. It can sprint from 0 to 62 miles per hour in around 3.6 seconds, faster than many sports cars, while still being built to handle difficult terrain. And then there is the party trick that made the internet explode. The Yangwang U8 can perform a tank turn, rotating almost in place by controlling the wheels independently. It can also use advanced body control systems to manage rough surfaces, water crossings, and extreme driving situations. This is not just luxury. This is engineering theater. Inside, the cabin is built to feel expensive and commanding. Large screens, premium materials, strong seating comfort, advanced driver assistance, and a high-tech dashboard give it the feeling of a flagship SUV from another timeline. It is not quiet old money luxury like a Range Rover. It is new money technology luxury. Bold, digital, dramatic, and impossible to ignore. Estimated pricing in China is around $150,000 or more, depending on configuration. That means this is not a cheap Chinese SUV. This is a serious six-figure statement machine. The Yangwang U8 is shocking because it proves BYD can go far beyond affordable EVs. It can build something expensive, powerful, strange, and genuinely desirable. And when a Chinese SUV can make a Mercedes G-Class look almost traditional, the entire luxury industry has a reason to be nervous. Number 2. The Zeekr 009. This is not just a minivan. This is China turning family transportation into a private jet on wheels. And that is exactly why the Zeekr 009 feels so shocking. In many markets, people still think of MPVs as practical, ordinary, and slightly boring. But Zeekr looked at that idea and completely destroyed it. From the outside, the 009 has an enormous presence. The front end is tall, futuristic, and almost architectural, with a massive illuminated-style grille design, sharp lighting, a squared luxury body, and a stance that makes it look more like an executive shuttle for billionaires than a regular people mover. It is not trying to look sporty. It is trying to look important. Underneath, the Zeekr 009 is fully electric, and depending on the version, it can deliver serious dual-motor all-wheel drive performance. Some versions produce over 530 horsepower, allowing this huge luxury MPV to accelerate from 0 to 62 miles per hour in roughly 4.5 seconds. That is almost absurd for something designed to carry executives in silence. Range can reach over 400 miles on the CLTC cycle in certain versions, depending on battery size. But the real reason this vehicle shocks the industry is the cabin. Open the sliding doors, and it feels less like entering a van and more like stepping into a first-class airline suite. The second-row captain's chairs are wide, soft, and deeply comfortable. There are large screens, premium sound, ambient lighting, power adjustments, elegant materials, and a level of passenger focus that makes many luxury SUVs feel cramped and outdated. Estimated pricing can start around the $70,000 range in China, while higher trims can climb far above that. But for wealthy families, business owners, celebrities, and executives, the Zeekr 009 offers something different. Space, silence, power, and status, without following the predictable SUV formula. Subscribe for more rare, expensive, and shocking cars like this. Because the Zeekr 009 proves China is not just copying luxury anymore. It is redefining what luxury can look like. One silent electric cabin at a time. Number 1. The Yangwang U9. This is the car that changes the conversation completely. Because when people used to talk about Chinese cars, they expected affordability, efficiency, maybe smart technology. They did not expect a fully electric supercar that could stand in the same visual universe as Ferrari, Lamborghini, and McLaren. But the Yangwang U9 is exactly that kind of shock. From the outside, it looks low, wide, sharp, and theatrical. The front end has aggressive lighting, deep aerodynamic channels, a pointed nose, and a body shaped to look fast before it even moves. The doors open upward, the stance is dramatic, and every line feels designed to say one thing. China is no longer afraid of the exotic car world. Under the skin, the U9 uses 4 independent electric motors, one for each wheel. Together, they produce over 1,200 horsepower and more than 1,200 pound-feet of torque, depending on measurement standards. That gives the car savage acceleration, with 0 to 62 miles per hour taking around 2.3 seconds. Top speed is reported at around 192 miles per hour, putting it deep into serious supercar territory. But the craziest part is not only the speed. The Yangwang U9 uses BYD's DeSUS X intelligent body control system, allowing the car to make dramatic suspension movements that look almost unreal. It can lift, balance, and even perform wild demonstration moves that went viral online. Of course, not every trick matters on a racetrack, but as a statement of engineering confidence, it is unforgettable. Inside, the cabin mixes performance and luxury with digital displays, sculpted seats, carbon fiber-style details, premium materials, and a cockpit focused on the driver. It does not yet carry the emotional history of Ferrari or Lamborghini, but it carries something just as dangerous: momentum. Estimated pricing in China is around $230,000, which is extremely expensive for a Chinese car, but shocking when compared with many European hypercars. The U9 is rare, bold, and built to make the world look twice. And that is why it deserves number 1. Because the Yangwang U9 proves Chinese automakers are no longer satisfied with building practical EVs. They want desire. They want performance. They want prestige. They want the bedroom wall poster dream that once belonged only to Europe. And now, the entire auto industry has to take them seriously. And that is the real shock. Chinese cars are no longer standing outside the global auto industry, asking to be noticed. They are already inside, challenging Tesla with price, challenging Porsche with speed, challenging Mercedes with comfort, and challenging everyone with technology that moves frighteningly fast. From the BYD seal to the Yangwang U9, this is not just a list of cars, it is a warning. The future of the auto industry may be quieter, smarter, more electric, and far more Chinese than anyone expected.